down, you're gonna forfeit. Say fuck the force before you end up bucking your own blood before it. Don't blame the martyr, I blame the karma. I pray to God your baby daughter gets caught up in some crazy drama and has to face your partners who raise the llama, aim revolvers at her face and start the spray shit on her. Pop, 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 right in your daughter's head. She pouring red, legs shaking on the corner dead. And when they take us to court, will you support the feds or get revenge and face your friends from the force instead?
But it's hard to argue when it's a big dirty silver tag on someone's back gate.
I think you rarely come across a graffiti writer whose sole motive every time is just to damage and to vandalise.
Everyone has their own thing, you know.
It's mad how, like, I've had mates that have gone to jail and he's sharing a cell with some geezer who, you know, who's beat up someone and who's fucking in there for fighting. How are them crimes the same to put in the same jail, in the same cell, and he was doing longer than the geezer who went in there for fighting? Fucking work that one out. That's just ludicrous, man. It's crazy. And yet when they're in there, it's not stopping anybody. No one is going to go to jail, come out and go, oh well, I'll just stop doing what I love now then, just because fucking I'm gonna, you know, I got arrested and I went to jail. They're just like, they're in there itching to get out and go painting again, because it's what they love doing. As soon as graffiti writers come out of jail, probably one of the first things they're going to do is go and buy a spray can and just get the vibe of spray painting again. I promise you. So it's pointless, because they just probably end up going back to jail because they're going to go and do it again. My name is Spencer, but I write the word Neps, which is Spen backwards. But on all social media, it's Krudspen. K-R-U-D-S-P-E-N. I got into graffiti through just vandalising, to be honest with you. I wanted to write my name on a box. I saw everyone else doing it, and I thought, I wonder how they. It was the thing of how do they get there? How do they do that? I want to do it. And obviously it was just tags. Then it was throw-ups. Then I was running around in places I shouldn't have been running around. And a couple of years went by, got arrested, and then I turned the legal side of it, stopped doing anything illegal. And that's where I picked up street art. I used to paint on bits of cardboard, rip it up, and then go and leave it just in the street, like free art I used to call it. So you just do that and then you just go, and it was more like of not expecting anything from it, just putting it out there, you know. And it wasn't letters anymore, it was now shapes and just random, you know what I mean, stencils and things like that. But that's how I got into it really, just the whole form of it over the end. And now I do both, graffiti and, but when I say graffiti I mean like letters, writing the word Neps, and also I do street art in like my shapes and things like that, and abstract strokes with brushes and all kinds of mad stuff.
My street artist name is Smiler_street art, and I've been doing this for about a year and a half now. But I come up here, basically I got to pick up the backside from the doctor, so I had to get out and sort of exercise. So I got out and then come up here, fell in love with the street art. Then I met a friend down the road there called Major and Boswell, who inspired me to do collage. So then I started collage and started handwritten notes, but my first collage got put in Secret London on the website. So I knew something was going to happen, and then obviously a year and a half later I've just become not well known, but I've started gradually getting a name for myself and working my way up. I've got all different subjects as well, so I've got surreal work, which you can see there, and then I've got stuff like Trump, the Queen and that, but then there's other stuff which try and make people laugh, or positive messages, or stuff which is sad subjects, like I try and cover racism, autism, bullying and all that. But the subject stuff, the racism, bullying, that is stories that I hear on the paper, you know, like reading the paper or hearing on the news. You know, girl 13, she takes her own life because she felt ugly, or a girl went back home because she felt she couldn't stay in my country, you know, like UK or what, you know. And things like that upset me, you know, like they're heartbreaking, you know, so I have to do something about it. So that's my way of freedom of speech, is put it on the streets. So I'm just trying to encourage people to feel welcome in the UK, feel welcome in Brick Lane, come back again and feel they could speak up if they're being bullied or something, you know. But the Trump stuff and that, and the Queen and that, that's more just for funny, you know? Not to have a dig, not that, you know, it's just to make people laugh, make people photograph it and just smile, you know? And then I got the positive stuff, which people need, because not everyone's happy, so some people need a bit of positive in their life, you know, because everyone's got problems going on. Everyone's got a nan that's died or family with cancer or something, so if I can make someone's day better, that's what it's about. That's why I leave the messages on the train as well. Just write a little message, leave it on the train, you know. But hopefully it encourages other people to want to do the same. Spread a bit of love in the UK.
There's lots and lots of different ways people define street art and graffiti, and you know, if you ask 100 people, you get 100 different explanations. Okay, some people think it's the difference between letters and written words and images, right? Or some people think, oh, it's the difference between the legal stuff and the illegal stuff. Okay, I've come across hardcore graffiti writers who say it has to be done with a spray can. It cannot include writing that's done with roller brushes, for instance. Okay. My personal preference is to view it as a function of who the audience is. Graffiti writing, the audience is other graffiti writers. They're showing off to each other. Street art, people like me and you are the audience. That street artists want us to enjoy their art. Okay, to take loads of great photographs, so follow them on social media, give them thousands of likes, Facebook and Instagram, maybe go to their exhibitions, maybe buy some of their art. So I think it's a question of who the audience is. You get great tags and you get entirely average graffiti. You know, tagging is a form of graffiti. It's part of the whole sort of ecosystem of the various sort of standards of graffiti. Okay? We are not conditioned to appreciate the beauty of a tag. Right? Other graffiti writers see things like the flow in a tag and arrows and starbursts, you know, all the kind of little complexities and things that we miss. Okay? I don't regard graffiti as vandalism, although I must say, if I went out one day and saw my car had a tag on it, I would struggle to find the creativity present in that. Okay? Maybe I'm just the wrong person to answer this question, because I do happen to regard almost all graffiti as basically a form of art and creativity. I think you rarely come across a graffiti writer whose sole motive every time is just to damage and to vandalize. I think they are preoccupied with style, they're preoccupied with showing off, you know, and developing and becoming unique, you know, and damage is actually a kind of small, tiny little part of it, and for many of them it's not a factor at all.
I want to be like, my dream is to be an artist, is for, you know, people to end up buying my work, and I'm waking up every day to paint, you know. That's what I love doing. That's what every artist wants to be. They don't want to go to a 9 to 5. Yeah, but it's both. All day long it's both. People who do like what I call proper real graffiti, innit? But that's just my opinion. All this is just my opinion, my way of thinking. Proper real graffiti for me is like when you're on the train and you're going past and you're seeing graffiti either on the train or on the train tracks. As big and as brutal as you can go on the tracks and on the trains, the better, innit? Like your rep will just increase like mad. But yeah, you could go and do 1,000, you know, legal walls, but you'll get a different sort of rep. It's not the, I mean, in graffiti world, people who do vandalism, yeah, you might get a massive big silver one, or yeah, on the side of the tracks it might be illegal, it might be big pink, you know, whatever, it might be crazy, it might be wicked. That's one side of the legal graffitiing that people could say, is it art, is it not? That's where you have more of an argument about it, but it's hard to argue when it's a big dirty silver tag on someone's back gate you know what I mean, and it just says their name all dirty and horrible. That's where people say, well, that's just vandalism then, isn't it? But yet, as a graffiti writer, no, that's still an art form, it's a hand style, isn't it? You know what I mean? So there's loads of ways you can look at it, but loads of ways, man. But, you know, it's all art. It's still art, you know what I mean? If someone framed it and went and put it next to a fucking Banksy piece, they'd be calling it art and everyone would be going mad over it, and oh my god, look at the way he used the spray can. Do you know what I mean? Just because it's next to a Banksy. But you could look at it however you want. That there you might get from you might see someone else has done a piece and they've done it a certain way, or the whole thing looks a certain shape or something, you know, and then you'll think, ah, well, you know, and then I'll get my sketchbook out. I'll have a little sketch up, either I like it or I won't, and sometimes I wake up and I think, what the hell was I doing last night, you know, what is that, that's just embarrassing. Other times I wake up, I'm like, that's quality, man, let's go out and paint it. Like 9 times out of 10 when I draw something and I like it, I can't wait to go out and paint it, innit? So, the weekend or whenever our next free will come about, I'll come to VIP, I'll buy the spray paint, and then I'll go to a legal spot, either paint here or go somewhere else, and that's it. Then I'll post up, roller out the whole wall, but there's a whole, you know, a whole load of craziness that goes into that. I've got to think of what colours I want to use, I've got to think of what colours will go well together. And then it's just a game of let's hope it all works, really. You just turn up, roll of the wall, fresh canvas, put your outline down, then you think it. And you know, even the process of painting the piece is like you think you've done a lot by the time you've even got there. Once you turn up to the wall, it's only really just beginning. But you've done all that crap that no one even sees or knows. Like, people think you just turn up to a wall and just throw it on there, and it's done in 10 minutes. It takes a lot of time, man. And I'm still practicing as well, so I'm trying new things every time. And, you know. With the shapes and stuff like that, and with like my street art side, I do a lot more like canvases, and like I experiment with a lot more different paints, a lot more different sort of like brushes. I do like splats. I'll just, you know, like the place where I do all my street art stuff is like just a bomb that just blew off in the paint room. But I just have loads of mad fun, man, because I love abstract. So I'll like pour paint all over this canvas and then just get like something and just swoosh it around, you know. And that is more having fun at home in my spare time. When I do graffiti pieces, that's like the day out, you know what I mean?
I see myself as an artist because at the end of the day I'm doing my work and I'm putting it on the street, and I see that as art. So I feel I'm an artist. I feel if you have the guts to be able to do something and put it on the street, I see it as you're an artist. You know, some people won't see it as art, but I personally see it as art, and this brings a lot of people together. A lot of people make friends and change lives because of this, because of the art. You know? But I'm also encouraging people. My handwriting is bad, my grammar's bad, but I still write messages and put it on the street for people to see. It doesn't matter what you can do, what you can't do. At the end of the day, it's just about putting it on the street. As long as you're happy with your art, it doesn't matter what other people think. But to me, everyone that does this is an artist.
Okay, let me tell you one thing right now. This is how you know that you're passionate about something and this is something that you want to do. I wake up, first thing I think about is graffiti or any sort of art, street, whether you call it. Let's stop categorising now. I wake up and I think about art, and I don't stop thinking about it until I go to bed. Even then, when I'm laying in bed, sometimes every night, I'm laying there thinking about the next piece I'm going to paint or something I could do on a canvas. You know what I mean? All day long, all I think and really care about sometimes, you know, there's points where I think to myself, I should really be giving a shit about other things right now, but I don't. I'm sitting there painting on canvas because that's what I love doing, man. And that's when I'm at the point of my all-time high, innit? When I do a piece of art, I look back and I'm like, yes. And I like the motto, dirty hands, clean work. So if you came in my studio, you'd be thinking, what the is going on in here? But then if I took the piece out of the studio and went and hung it on a plain white wall, you'd be like, yeah, man, that looks wicked. Or went and put it in a frame, you'd be like, right, that's cool. You know, so it looks really mad and all crazy and messed up, but then when I take it out, I'm like, well, I'll put like a gloss finish over it, epic. And that's the best feeling.